My job is when you come, I'm going to make you laugh. Forget about whatever you're going through or add to a good week if you had it. But I don't put any sort of level of importance. People try to do that. Like there's this stupid thing out there. The comedians, they're like the truth tellers of today. It's like, no, you journalists aren't doing your fucking jobs anymore. You guys you guys work for one or two channels and, you just sort of toe the company line. So
that's so true, dude, that the journalists are like now they seek access and favor as opposed to journalists used to be the people that held people in power accountable. They did. They held them accountable. And I mean, granted, it was a different world because if politicians wanted to reach the audience, they had to go through the journalists. So maybe it's a power dynamic. Like back in the 70s, the only way you could get your word out to the mass distribution was through a TV host or through a journalist. So they were the gateway. So then they made you earn that gateway. But now, if the journalist loses access, the fucking politician could go on their TikTok or their YouTube or something. I think part of it is they're not doing their job, like you said, but I think part of it is also the media climate. Like the journalists aren't necessary anymore. You can deny speaking with the journalist and you can get your message out on a bazillion other platforms. So now journalists need to be they need to maintain that access if they're going to get any story at all. I mean, he's right, but I think there are some extenuating circumstances. Journalists don't have the same power they once had. But I hadn't really thought about that until this moment. Because I've been really critical of journalists. But now that I'm seeing it, a lot of them bro, they, a politician can literally take their camera and go on TikTok or YouTube, and they don't need the journalist anymore. They're not required. They're totally unnecessary. It's really interesting. Yeah, you're right. Online celebrity. Exactly. Now anybody with a phone potentially is a celebrity. Anybody with a platform. It's really crazy. Because it used to be that if you wanted to speak to the whole country, you had to go on 60 Minutes. You had to go get interviewed on the late night world news tonight or whatever. You had to go sit down with Tom Brokaw. That was the only way to get millions of eyes on you at one time. You had to submit to Tom Brokaw. He had the power. Walter Cronkite, they had the power. They had to control the door to that audience, the window to the audience. And nowadays, they can go on Theo Vaughn or Aiden Ross or some fucking shithead with a YouTube channel, or they can start their own goddamn TikTok. You know what I mean? It's really interesting.
They're putting it on comedians. It's that's not our job. Our job's to make you laugh and forget about your work week or whatever. So I don't put any sort of importance on anything that I'm doing, but other people try to, I guess.
I wonder whose fault that is, though. Was there a particular comedian? Because, George Carlin always kept people, to me, grounded in reality. And then what Jon Stewart did, and still does, on The Daily Show, he keeps people grounded in reality, but then he reports the news. So sometimes they want you to make the facts funny, because the news isn't doing it. The news.
I stopped watching the news at least 10 years ago.
Damn.
I just couldn't do it. There was just no hope. You just walk around. I always say you can tell people that watch 24-hour news. They show up and their eyebrows are up. Did you see what happened? I mean, I just did Good Morning America. Just the weather alone, the way they were showing all of this severe weather, and nobody is addressing global warming and how the hell and what are we going to do about this? Yeah. And I think I really think the LA fires, all that corporations see, oh wow, we got great ratings. Watching all these people lose their houses. So let's...
Yeah, it's really crazy to think about that. We live in a constant state of cognitive dissonance. We are in a constant state of cognitive dissonance where we're watching these storms, we're watching these tornadoes and shit. And they're getting more severe. The hurricanes are getting more severe. The fires are getting more severe. And the climate change elephant is moving around in the corner, and we're just not talking about it.
So then I was like watching the weather on Good Morning America being like, is it really this bad? Or are they trying to make it seem this bad so they can get some more of those LA fire ratings or whatever? So
you gotta sensationalize in news. That's like your goal when you know how to sensationalize.
Yeah, they're just trying to make money.
Everyone's sensationalizing now.
I don't know.
It's like we're so inundated with stimuli. We're so inundated with product that the only way to break through now is to sensationalize and go like ape shit. That's really like all we have now. Everybody sensationalizes just to pierce the curtain of apathy that we all have because we're weary and broken down by constantly being beat over the head by stimuli, you know? And I mean, dude, it's like this, dude. Like he's talking about the weather. Check this out. So we know there's climate change, the fires and the hurricanes and all this shit. And what does Trump do, dude? Trump tweets this. He tweeted this at 5:30 p.m. We are actively monitoring the severe tornadoes and storms that have impacted many states. 36 innocent lives have been lost. Many more devastated. Please join us praying for everyone. But like, dude, this motherfucker, he cut the budgets and gutted all the agencies that monitor weather and storms and climate, and they scrubbed all mentions of climate and climate change and weather. He hasn't gutted FEMA yet, but they will. But I'm talking about NOAA. My point being is he's saying we're actively monitoring the storms after the storms have fucking ripped straight through. The storms have come and gone. Like, you monitor this shit before it comes through. The whole point is to monitor it, to give people warnings so they can get out of the way, so they can board up, so they can take cover, so they can protect their shit, their livestock, etc. And no, but now after it's gone through and killed everybody, this motherfucker wants to say, oh yeah, now we're monitoring the storms, and me and the Hamburglar are going to fucking say a prayer, meaning I'm going to beg her for sex, and she's going to go Justin Trudeau, and then I'm going to slap a 75% tariff tomorrow because I'm just mad at Canada. Dude, it's such fucking bullshit. But this is the cognitive dissonance. We see the effects of climate change every day. The farmers do. The people do. Everybody in these storms, we're seeing the effects. We're living it. We're watching it. We're watching global temperatures rise. We're seeing it in Oregon, where now in the summer it's 115 degrees. 20 years ago, it never got above 80. It's very clear that the climate is fucking changing. And now we're all seeing this, but we're all walking through pretending like, you know, we're walking by a burning building and pretending like we don't smell the fucking smoke, bro. That level of cognitive dissonance is like so like beyond, dude. It's so crazy. It's just a type of non-reality that we're living in now, dude. Dude, it's ridiculous. Oh, there it is. Big banner. FEMA's being updated to comply with the executive order. Don't call us, we'll call you.
It's a weird time.
And how do you stay away from politics when I feel like politics is just funny nowadays?
It's pop culture now.
Everything is just
everywhere.
Everything you say has to do with political stuff. Not everything, but a lot of stuff you say has to do with political stuff. Like, you were trending all morning this morning. Did you know that? On Twitter?
Yeah, but I guarantee you whatever they were saying, I was saying I wasn't. What was it about?
It was the Elon Musk Nazi thing, and how the media is scared and won't say what they need to say.
Well, it's ridiculous. There was a time, post Me Too and all that, speaking to power, all of that shit that was happening.
The power.
You know? Remember when something was supposed to happen for you guys and it didn't? Yeah. Because it was all of us just talking? I mean, that's what ended up happening.
No, that's true.
That's what ended up happening.
A lot of white people making a lot of promises that never happened.
Oh,
yeah.
Was it during the Black Squares time or something?
I don't remember. I just remember there was a time that you would be on stage going like, "Can I do this Caitlyn Jenner joke? Or am I gonna get canceled?" Like, it was really this crazy time.
Nah, she was the one transgender you could always make jokes about, and nobody would get mad.
I don't know. I kind of did one on Conan, and then those guys at Huffington Post tried to get something going. So there was that period, and then like a few years later, this guy 𝗙cie𝗶𝗪 twice.
Yeah,
two of them.
Once in the front, if you missed it in the back, and it's just like he still has a job. That guy still has a job. I don't understand those guys. And this isn't politically. It's just like, I don't understand why they're so upset with this country. It's like, you're billionaires. I think it's working for you. Like,
yeah, no shit. But the fact that as a country, all of America essentially pretended Elon Musk's Sieg Heil was not a Sieg Heil. Like, think about the mental gymnastics that we exist in, where he openly does it with like a teeth grit. So clearly did it twice. You've put it side by side with Hitler, and it's like the tape don't lie. Let's look at this real quick. Yeah, there it is. With the teeth grit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. And he fucking straight across, okay, with the grit. And he fucking did it both ways. Dude, the tape don't lie. That shit is like so obvious. He's biting his lip. He is gritting. He is not sending hearts to the audience. Oh, yeah, I send you my heart with a smile. No, you can look at his fucking face, dude. If you look at the picture, look at him. Look at the fucking teeth grit. Look at that. Straight. He's not sending any hearts. He is gritting. He is angry. That is aggressive. There is no doubt. It's like the gaslighting that exists with this fucking bullshit, bro. And people are gaslighting. And MAGA, you MAGA gaslighters, you Elon stans gaslighting this shit, like, you, bro. I know you want to live in a sense of reality where you could pull this shit and think you back out of it, but like, dude, come on. Like, come on. Everybody motherfucking knows what that shit it was.
You know, why are you going and telling everybody, you know, justify what you do? It's like, fucking justify what you do. Mm-hmm. That piece of shit car that you're making that the government financed. No?
Yeah.
But you know what you just said? You said that Elon still has a job. He's the richest man in the world. There's nothing they can do to him. And that's all he proved. There's nothing any...
Yeah, I don't know. We could cut all his government contracts. We could tax the fucking shit. 90% tax rate over, you know, 100 million. And Elon would no longer be the richest man, dude. He'd be just another fucking millionaire.
Nobody can do to him by throwing up when he did that. Yeah. What do you take from him? He's not Kyrie Irving. He's not Kanye. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, but you keep, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how this shit works. I'm just saying that, you know, if you said the wrong thing as a comedian, all of a sudden you lost your TV show.
But you're not the richest man in the world. If you was the richest comedian in the world, ever.
What I don't get,
Imagine Bill Burr.
What I don't get is the amount.
I don't know, dude. Kanye certainly has gotten smacked, right? Kanye definitely has taken a beating. Now, granted, he's black. Okay, a black guy is going to have a way different go. But, dude,
of veterans that people in the armed services that died trying to stop Hitler, and then this guy comes in, you know, and does that. While being an immigrant, too, which is kind of the whole thing, just none of it like tracks how you can be the support the troops, you know, America, love it or leave it. And then this guy comes in and gives a shout out to Hitler.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. So I don't know. But then somehow that gets like politicized. I'm not trashing Republicans. All Republicans did not Sieg Heil. That guy did. And I was just amazed that all liberals had was one day of outrage. And they're like, all right, I guess that didn't work. And then we just kind of move on.
Because they realize they can't do anything to him.
Well, yeah, I mean, granted, without the government, I mean, and he owns a social media network that he can just brazenly get away with misinformation. If he didn't own Twitter, it would be very different because he wouldn't have a social media network that's spreading propaganda of it wasn't a salute, right? But he owns a social media network. I mean, he is pretty invincible. We could break out our buddy in the guillotine. We could break out our buddy 𝗲𝗏𝗏, right? We could fucking stick his head in there. Dude, cut the cord. Could always do that and just whack up the spoils, right? That would be something. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.